Hey, what's up, everybody? You already know it's your brother from another, Brother Mays. That's right, a.k.a. Marlon Rashawn Graves. That's my government name. Hey, y'all, this is the Lock and Loaded Show, our second show into the new year. So we're going to say Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, y'all.
You know I can't forget my better half, obviously. Jayce, what's going on?
What's up? How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How you been?
I've been good.
You know we got a special guest in the house?
Yes, I do see we have a special one
Yeah,
here.
y'all. And so for all y'all that's looking live right now, obviously you'll check the show out here coming up here next Sunday or this Sunday coming. But we got the one and only Mr. Dave Cameron.
Woohoo!
Thanks for having me. It's great to be
how
here,
you
Brother
doing?
Mace. I'm doing great. It's a new year.
Now,
Starting off well.
hey, listen, I'm just gonna be honest with y'all guys. We're gonna be so off the hook with this show right now because here's the thing. I could give him the biggest introduction, but I'm only gonna touch briefly because I really want him to kind of explain his job responsibility. But we have the city manager of Springfield in the house, y'all. And if you don't understand what that job really means, especially in a place like this, we're going to touch on that. But I just want to say this, obviously, you know, we're dealing with David Cameron. He comes with so much experience, previous cities like Republic, and I want to say this right, Siloam Springs, where he spent about 16 years of his life, and of course managing billions. And I'm going to say billions, millions of dollars. Okay, obviously, let's put it this way: he's doing his job, and he's been doing it now. I think you're now the 14th
City manager.
city manager for Springfield, Missouri.
Yes.
Hey, that's a hand clap, y'all.
There you go.
Hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. Man, talk to us, Dave, because I mean, here's the thing. You're from Miller, Missouri.
Yeah.
Talk to me about who David was in Miller.
Yeah. So, Miller, Missouri is only like 35 miles west of Springfield.
I know.
It's 700 people. I
Yeah.
graduated in a graduating class of 52.
What?
Yeah. I graduated 18th in my class, so that's really saying something. So yeah, I mean, it was kind
You
of
in the top half. That was good.
yeah,
That's good.
I don't think it did me that well, but at the same time, coming from a small town, and Springfield was the place to be. You would go up there, do your shopping, do your thing, and it's pretty surreal to be where I was at and to be at the third largest city in the state of Missouri right now as the leader. Is not only surreal, it's a blessing, but it's a very deep passion of mine to really, really lead well.
I wanna dive right into this because one of the things that you said in a previous interview, and I want to touch on this real quick, guys, because here's the thing: we're gonna be talking about another interview that he did back in November.
Yes.
Through a program called Borrow My Angel, and if you have yet to hear anything about this, you're talking about stories. His story, I'll put it to you this way. I listened to that story at least 4 times, and each time that I listened to it and watched it, I got something so new out of it every time that it kept taking me to a place in my life.
Sure.
And I want to dive right into it because this show today this episode is about managing to be managed, leadership, loss, and the courage to heal.
Yeah.
And as I was telling David before, I was trying to figure out, I said, how does this city manager relate to a show like ours? And as soon as I watched this Borrow My Angel story, I said, got it. It's a done deal. Talk to us about that kid that came from Miller.
Yeah.
That kid that said, hey, I'm graduating, but I really don't know what I'm going to do with my life, because you did kind of express that.
Yeah, I mean, I had a really, really difficult childhood. If I can tap into that just a little. So,
please.
I had a very difficult childhood. You know, my dad left whenever I was 3. My mom raised 3 single kids. And so, you know, I was just a little boy. I mean, I was 3 years old when it happened. But I was beginning, my early development years was around trauma. And I didn't know trauma until I got older.
Right.
But it was like around loss, not having food, not having money, coming down to C Street. When I remember C Street, when we would go down there
Mhm.
and pawn things off to get money.
I can almost tell you which one you went to.
Yeah, so
I know exactly where you're talking about.
so watching
Yeah.
your mom go through and taking you out of school to go down there, and then having being able to pay. I went to to have the dentist here in Springfield. I remember her asking, "Can I just give you $10 to put something down?"
Yeah.
So I've lived a life with nothing,
Mhm.
but I had everything. My mom was is still alive, very special.
Right.
But my dad was an alcoholic, drug addict, but he was around, but very abusive, not physically,
Mhm.
but very verbally. And so, but I remember vividly, I might hear my mom pray through the wall at night, crying, saying, God, how am I going to feed my kids? And so I didn't really get to have to be a little boy. I turned into an entrepreneur, started mowing yards whenever I
Right.
was 9.
See, and that's the relevancy that I talked about earlier. You and I are so much alike. I had my first business was an actual lawnmower, just
Yeah.
picking the lawnmower up and going around the neighborhood.
Yeah.
But you said something in the interview that was so interesting about that because that taught you about discipline.
It
It
did.
taught you about some things. Kind of explain that a little bit.
It taught me responsibility. I mean, the good side was, and I always wanted to write a book, and I wanted
Yeah.
a chapter. Money Stopped the Tears because
Right.
I made $17 a week, and back in those days, I mean, $17 was real money.
Of course.
And so I gave it to my mom every week, and that
Yeah.
so that what $68 a month,
Mhm.
but that paid the grocery bill. And so I learned not only discipline but responsibility. I learned commitment to people. I say I'll mow your yard every week. You don't get to stop,
Yeah.
but also at the same time, if you stop, you don't get paid.
Right.
Mm.
So with that being said, because you mentioned the $17 you gave your mom, I remember my mom just took it. It wasn't about me giving it to her. But here's the thing: how did those humble beginnings shape the way that you see young people today? Because you're dealing with different entities of people throughout as a manager, but when it comes to dealing with youth today, how does that help you relate?
It helps me tremendously because what I struggled with, even with my dad, it wasn't even the work. I didn't feel seen.
Yeah.
I felt get out of my way,
Yeah.
be quiet, get small. And so when I'm with people today and I watch them get small or hide, I'm like, listen, you can be from Miller, Missouri and be in Springfield. You're not less than.
Right.
So what I like to use my platform of anybody when someone says, I'm just not smart enough to do it. That's shame talking to you.
Mhm.
That's probably a daddy or a mom, someone that
Right.
told you you couldn't be enough. And I'm crying foul on that. And I've cried foul on it the whole time. So when I think about the person that is pushing a broom or a mop for me at the city, they're leading the initiatives of the city. They're part of the outcome of the city.
Mhm.
And so I see them.
Yeah.
And so what I do for young people today is like, listen, I believe you can be whatever you want to be.
Mhm.
Don't be limited, by your ACT score. Don't be limited by what people say you can do. And my stepdad he raised me since I was 12.
Mhm.
And he said, David, don't ever get beat over a piece of paper. So I got a little certificate to treat water.
Mhm.
And then I got first aid, CPR. And I just kept adding it to a resume. I didn't have
Mhm.
much work experience other than pushing a mower.
So what was it that changed for you? Because coming out of high school, obviously you were like, hey, I really don't know what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I've done this. I've had little small jobs and everything. What was the significant change that said, hey, this is the direction I gotta go?
Well, it was really the fact that I realized that I had no plan.
Yeah.
And the significant change was my stepdad gave me two options: go to technical school or go to the military.
Yeah.
I'm not real good.
Mhm.
I would not have been good at that.
Right.
And so what really changed was the fact that reality was coming to me, and bills and paying for a vehicle and having an apartment or having a house and living
Mhm.
on my own.
Mhm.
I was not set up for long-term success. I was not even set up to live on my own.
Right.
And so it was almost like a fear factor of like, hey, there is no parachute here. You
Yeah,
are the
right. Right.
Your hands, your feet, and your mouth and your brain are your parachute. You've got to put them to work.
Mhm.
And you can't rely upon other people to do it for you if you've got
Mhm.
the God-given ability to go do it.
Right.
So I really had to press in, but I had to take remedial classes in college just to get in because I'd done so poorly in high school.
Mhm.
So I had to take 3 remedial English classes and a math class
Mhm.
because I never took algebra in high school.
Really?
Never. I just took whatever I generally had to do to get out of the school. And then I realized, wait a minute, I have no marketable ability to even
Mhm.
apply for getting into college.
Mhm.
So, yeah. So really what changed was, wait a minute, reality's hitting me. That vehicle I
Mhm.
bought with my money is going to expire. You know, it's going to go bad. And I got to pay for another one plus have rent. My parents are like, "Hey, get a job or get out."
You know, you shared, you know, about your father, obviously. And I want you to tell this story because when you're dealing with, because the origin of this show, the origin of Locked and Loaded started with gun violence reduction.
Yeah.
Obviously, Francine Pratt, give a big shout out to her.
Hello, Francine.
You know, started this initiative that we could, as a community, kind of control the narrative.
Yeah.
And so in the process of that, we've talked to kids. We have something called street outreach workers who are talking to people all the time and who have dealt with gun violence from a standpoint of suicide. You talked about this previously. Your father committed suicide.
Yeah, my grandfather did too.
Wow. See, there you go.
Yeah, my my grandfather didn't take his life by weapon or gun, but my dad took his life. Will be 5 years ago this year. It was 5 years ago this year. Went to a roadside park with a pistol and took his life. Father's Day weekend. Yep.
I can't even imagine what getting up to that point every year. Does it bring back memories to the point where you feel like, was there something that I could have done?
Yeah, because you feel a little bit guilty because one thing I'd say to people is I had to create a boundary with my dad because every time I was around him, I would get close and then I'd get hurt again. It would the same thing. It would be you're like, maybe he's different this time. Yeah. And even into my 30s. And so eventually I just said, I've got to protect myself from I keep subjecting myself to the same torture. And so, yeah, whenever I found out I was sitting at a Kirk Franklin and a concert of a band in St. Louis when I found out. And Chandler, I'm trying to think of what that band is called. But anyway, but
it's all good.
But Brandon Lake and all them were having this big concert.
Yeah.
And I get this phone call that says, "Hey, your dad's missing." I'm like, "Well, okay."
Yeah.
But when they told me, they said they found him and he's dead and he shot himself, I wept like a baby. Yeah. And I didn't understand why. I was like, why am I crying? This man was so mean to me. He's gone. It's over. But the truth be told is someone told me, he's like, well, man, that's God created us to have dads. So that connection between us and the Father is real. So that's your body's way of responding to the way it was originally created for it to happen. So it was pretty a deep emotional cut, but that's not a gravesite that I go visit.
You know what? Before we even ask this next question, guys, listen. This is the Lock and Loaded Show.
Yes, it is.
We have the city manager, Mr. Dave Cameron, on with us tonight. I have to be honest, I'm speechless in some cases, in some ways right now, because there are some things that you're about to bring out from just understanding who you are.
Yeah.
The people that I've talked to already said your integrity is everything.
It is.
And we're going to talk about that. Guys, we're going to take a quick break. This is the Lock and Loaded Show. I am your host, Brother Mays. Got Jayce, Janae.
Yes.
We'll see you in just a second. All right, everybody, we're back. This is your brother from another, Brother Mays. We got special guests in the house, City Manager of Springfield, Mr. Dave Cameron.
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun,
I
dun,
know,
dun.
right? That's right. That's right. Hey, y'all, we've been talking about, to be honest, the title of this show is focused around managing to be managed, but it's around three key points: leadership, loss, and the courage to heal. And one of the things about loss is that there's pain involved. And one of the quotes that you stated in one of your previous interviews that I thought was just amazing is that trauma, I want to get this right, trauma is the problem, not drinking. Tell us a little more about that.
Well, growing up in the church,
Hmm.
drinking was absolutely forbidden. You know, it's like
Right.
if you drink, you're going to hell.
There you go.
So you stay away from it. Well, my problem was I was gravitated to it,
Mhm.
and I started at an early age,
Mhm.
and it carried on into. I mean, I'd go through seasons where I wasn't drinking,
Mhm.
but I kept every time I'd go to counseling to try to work on it, I was like, well, the problem is you need to get sober.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, well, then you get sober, then you get triggered on something. And you're like, wait a minute, drinking's not the problem.
Mhm.
Trauma is.
Mhm.
So go after what's actually in your life that you're so worried about happening. What's this narrative you've built in your head that's getting ready to happen? I'm going to lose everything.
Mhm.
I'm going to get hurt. I'm going to lose my job. I'm going to lose my house. I'm going to lose everything. I'm going to
Mhm.
be just like my mom. How am I going to feed my kids?
Mhm.
And so it was like and it was so relieving because it's like you're still a believer.
Mhm.
You're still born again. You're still a Christian. You're still what? And it's like, really? Yeah. The
Yeah.
problem is not the drinking. That's been covered. The
Mhm.
problem is you're not dealing with the trauma that causes you to go to alcohol.
Mm.
So what you're coping with is you're trying to bury the pain
Mhm.
that you don't want anybody to know about in your life. And it's been a struggle. I mean, alcoholism has been a big part of my journey. And so, and I have to just be honest about it
Right.
because I hid it for so long, but I was dying on the inside. And
Was this something that you saw with your father or saw with other family members?
yeah, I mean, I saw it with my dad for sure.
Yeah.
I'm by far of being the middle child.
Mhm.
I'm by far the one that really wrecked into alcohol a lot more than my siblings did.
Mhm.
But I've seen it throughout my family. I've seen it hurt all my uncles on my dad's side, and I'm a product of that same environment. And so to be
Mhm.
standing here sober is
Congratulations.
yeah
Yes.
is a big deal.
Mm.
Yeah. That says a lot. And you talk about, you're a believer, obviously, me being a reverend myself.
Yeah.
And I tell you, I've come across so many different people in my years of practice that I have wondered. I said, does addiction cause you to, how would I say, put a band-aid over things, or does it really allow you to heal things? Does that make sense?
It does because it
Yeah.
doesn't allow you to heal.
Yeah.
I'll say that it masks it numbs the pain,
Yeah.
but you're like, I don't know where to go with this pain. I don't even know how to. I don't know. In fact, if you, in the borrow my angel piece, it was like just go to the altar and pray and it'll
That
go
part.
away.
Yeah.
And when it didn't, then you're going, well, is God even listening? Because you're saying, well, it must be sin in your life.
Yeah.
It must be this. It's something you're not doing right.
Mhm.
Well, then when you feel that shame, there was more times I walked out of church, went and bought a 12-pack of beer. Like, I'm hopeless.
Right.
So anyway, it's just being real. I mean, there's times it was like when I realized, like, wait a minute, you're just not dealing with causing you to go to
Mhm.
alcohol. And
Mhm.
some of it was my faith, and some of it was my trauma.
How does that transition into your job now? I mean, let's be honest, you're managing various budgets,
Hmm.
various things across the city that, Queen City, if people don't know, we have a tag on us when
Yes.
it comes to, um, and I don't like to say the particular drug, but at the end of the day, at one point in time, this was the heroin
Yes.
city of the Midwest. And I may say, and I may be saying the wrong drug, but we had a tag to us.
Yes.
This was an area where people could say, I can come to Springfield and I can get lost in Springfield and really blend in.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
It does.
So how's that changed, or how do you talk against that? Because we still have some things going on in Springfield where it just makes you go, "Wow, really?"
I think it's doing just like we're doing tonight. I think for me, it's getting out and using my voice in my position, not just on policy of the city,
Yeah.
but saying, listen, people are going to heroin because they're trying to get away from something else.
Right. Right.
And we got to be able to be. So when I talk to a young person or anyone, it's
Yeah.
like I relate. I know what it's like to wake up with an empty handle in your hand.
But do they take you seriously though? Because here's the thing. I'm just gonna be honest. I mean, this is Springfield.
Yeah.
The population for at least for that look like me sits between 4 and 6%.
Yeah.
And some of the kids that I deal with, some of the kids that our program talks to, look like us, but then they have a problem talking to us. So when you're talking to them or talking to an addict, where does the outside just shut down? Where does the black and white say, I'm going over here,
Yeah.
and now I just need you to relate with me. I need you to talk with me. Does that make sense?
It does.
Because there's no titles involved in that.
No. But I think that what people need to hear, which I would love to hear,
Yeah.
that you're just human.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't care skin color. I don't care. You're human.
Right.
And you go through stuff in your life, and it's okay not to be okay.
Ah, I love that.
Yeah.
And so
Can you repeat that again?
yeah, it is okay not to be okay.
Thank you.
You can have a bad day. You're not broken. It's just a bad day. But this whole idea that you got to have all your stuff together all the
Man,
time
come on now.
is ridiculous. So I think there's this, especially in the world of people comparing themselves. I heard someone say comparison is the thief of joy.
Ooh.
So
Yeah.
when you start comparing yourself to other people's lives, you think you have an optic.
Yeah.
But they put out there what they want you to see.
Yeah.
What I want to put out there and what my I guess my model or what I'm trying to market or share is I'm going to put out there alcoholism is my story, trauma is my story,
Yeah.
suicide thoughts is my story. But yes, I'm extremely productive and have seen results in my professional career because the same thing that pushes me to success in the arena, what I call, is also what pushes me to failure after 5 behind a closed door.
I want to stop there because 79 applicants. You were picked out of 79 applicants. What makes you different? And here's the thing. You have some things that I think this city needs. So what if you can explain that in less than a minute? How do you say I am that guy?
Yeah, I'm authentic. I'm the real deal. What you see is what you get. I don't run for office, and I come to do my job, not keep it.
Yeah.
And so I took a job with a 5-4 vote to boot.
I saw that. It was a split vote.
Yeah. So, but the thing about it is when you believe in who you are,
Come on now.
you can do whatever you want to
You
do.
do all things through Christ. I'm just going to call it what it is.
That's right. And
Come
so
on now.
I'm a believer. And what I would say is the very passage in Scripture that really took me there was David and Goliath, and it was not the sling and the stone. It's what David said to the giant. He said, yeah, I come with sling and stone, but I also come in the name of the Lord. So when I come into the city of Springfield, I don't come as David Cameron. I come with an armor and a shield around me and the favor of God that goes with it.
The armor of God.
That's right.
Come on now.
So to me, I saw the opposition, but I know God opened the door. So as long as God opens the door, the Bible says no man can close it. So anyway, I walked through that door, took a huge risk and put my faith in doing the right thing. But I really do believe just being David Cameron. I'm not trying to be David the politician. I just got to be DC.
I love that.
Can I ask a question?
Please.
So, I know we're talking about like the process of you getting into the position that you're in now, but what led you to even go after a role like this? Like what transitioned you into this job?
That's a great question. So I working in Republic for almost 10 years and watching Springfield. So being born in Springfield, Cox North, and being up here on C Street, pawning, but watching it and seeing just how the evolution from just safety, public safety, watching what was happening in Springfield. Like, I believe my skill set matches their need. They need a bold leader. They need someone that'll say, hey, let's get past the pleasantries and let's get to the root causes of certain things. And I was like, so I had a very secure job. I had a very secure contract that paid me out tremendous amounts, and I took a risk to come into it because I believe that it's like you can complain about the problem.
Come on.
But I'm one of those that says if I'm going to complain about it, I'm going to ante up and I'm going to participate in the
That part.
outcome.
Yeah.
That part.
Be part of the
So
Be
solution.
part of the solution.
yeah, because I was being a little bit critical, and I'm like, well, okay, now the job's open. What are you going to do now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I waited about a week, heard that message coming back from Kansas City about, you know what? I can do this. I'm going to at least put my name in the hat.
Yeah.
And I knew there was a lot of opposition, but I'm like, you know what? Anything we're trying, it was risky, but it's worth it.
Can I roll it back even further?
Go
Yeah.
for it. Go for it.
So I know you said that you held different positions in other cities, but being when we were talking about you graduating, no plan, had to go, get your education up and everything, what led to the career path that got you here?
Yeah, that's great. I started out treating water. So I went to work for government treating wastewater, actually.
Really?
So yeah, and nobody comes out to a wastewater plant to say great job, but I had a
It's all good.
certificate.
Yeah.
But what really happened was I got extremely frustrated with government.
Mhm.
I needed pumps at the plant. You needed equipment, and let's face it, unless you're C-suite level, you're not getting recognized.
Right. Right.
So I felt again like that little boy that was not recognized by my dad. You're just a wastewater guy. I mean, you work at the stinkiest part of the whole community, but it was important to me. It was a trade. It's a craft that I learned, but nobody recognized it. And so it really propelled me not to get away from it. I love that career. I still have my licenses to this day, but I watched how bureaucracy got in the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And people did things to keep their political side
Yeah.
instead of doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And so you won't see a ribbon cutting for a wastewater plant, but you'll see a ribbon cutting for a park. And so I just felt like you got to bring significance to the people that are not seen. And I felt like I'm one of those people that's always been the underdog, Miller, wastewater operator.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now it's like, how do you go from that's what I'd say is, how do you go from the wastewater plant to City Hall? You take it a little bit personal. Like, you know what? I can do that job too. And I'm capable of doing it. So, I think you got to take risk if you want to move forward.
Nice.
You having that, and thank you for the question.
That was a great question.
sure.
Let
Thank
me
you.
first of all, you doing some magic because this one over here, she don't ask a lot of questions.
Yeah, that's a great question.
That
Thank
was a
you.
really good question.
I
Thank you
appreciate
for that. You talked about your pain, your struggles. You talked about being open to your mental health. What does that say to people who believe pain disqualifies them from success?
Yeah, it does not. It could actually motivate you.
Yeah.
And it motivated me. It's like, I don't want to feel the pain. So sometimes numbing the pain was actually going and actually being successful. Like, you know what? I'm going to go prove it. I always tell people if I had one word, if I could tattoo something on my face, which I won't, but at the same time, there's no judgment to those that do. But hey, it would be misunderstood. It's like, what motivates me is not what you think. And so, yeah, I mean, pain can do a lot of great things for you. The pain to the body is telling you something's not right. So when you experience pain in your life, you got two choices: it's fight or flight.
Yeah.
And so I'm one of those that likes to fight.
Yeah.
And I've had to fight for my life because there's times that, like I said in Borrow My Angel, the struggle is real. I've gone through it twice where I've stood there and said the reality of it is that gun is sitting literally 3 feet from me, and it's loaded. And it's not one in the chamber, and you're like, well, it's right there.
Yeah.
And you got two choices: fight or flight. And my voice is to go out there and say, keep fighting. You matter. It's just you matter.
This was not one of the initial questions I was going to ask, but I have to ask this because you mentioned your kids.
Yeah.
And obviously, with your background, see, there's that smirk on your face.
I love my kids.
I can tell you love your kids. Being that father, because this is where I think we really relate. I'm always, even away from my kids, I'm always playing the protector.
Yeah, oh yeah.
How has your past helped you shape their future?
Oh, that's such a great question. So what I will tell you is this. It shaped my future from my past with them. Is that the question?
Well, your past shaping their future. Like being like when my daughter calls me the other night and she says, we're just talking.
Yeah.
And, having a nice conversation. And she said, Dad. And anytime she says dad in that tone, something's about to come up. And, and I had to think, okay, I was 19 at once, at some point in time. Do I just jump at her? Or do I really listen?
Yeah.
And so that question to you, how has that helped you with your kids?
So two things that come to mind is I taught my kids there's nothing you will do on this planet that I will not love you. I just need you to be honest with me, but I will forgive you. There will be grace in every scenario.
There you go.
And so, but you need to know there's nothing that you will do that I will not love you. Even if you're mad at me, angry at
Wow.
me. And I solidified that when they were really young because I always questioned the love of my father.
Yeah.
And I always questioned the love of the heavenly Father. I was like,
Yeah,
that. So those two translate.
Yeah.
Like, because it was kind of performed, you're taken care of. You
Yeah.
don't perform.
Yeah.
So that was a big thing that shaped my kids, that they are very gracious in the way they go about what shaped what that looked like. And then also just the fact that no one's going to take care of you. You got to go fight for yourself, and it's important for you to get educated and take care of yourself and be able to provide for yourself. But really, when I look at them today and I look at where they're at and shaping them, they're very leader-minded, but they're not like me. And they're not driven the same way as I am. But at the same time, they have balance to their life because it was like, it's not just about work and deliverable. It's also about your family. But it's a big word about, the big word is grace in raising my kids.
I love it. Hey guys, we're gonna take a break right there. Obviously, if you've been just joining the show, we have special guests in the house, Dave Cameron. He's a City of Springfield City Manager, and he is joining us tonight. Obviously, Jayce, you enjoying yourself?
Oh yes, I am.
I tell you what, I had some expectations. I think he's already oversighted them. At the end of the day, we're gonna come right back and do yourself a favor, go get a little snack, something to drink, because we really about to get into the meat when you come back. But hey, again, this is the Lock and Loaded Show.
Like, comment, subscribe.
That part. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your brother from another. Once again, we are back. We are actually we hitting it.
Yeah, it's a good
I
show.
mean, I don't even know how to say this. This episode so far has been such an intriguing episode because we got City Manager Dave Cameron in the house. This is the Lock and Loaded Show, and we're always loaded and we're always locked.
That's right.
That makes sense? At the end of the day, guys, listen, we've been talking about managing to be managed. His story, David's story coming from Miller, going through Miller, getting through life, dealing with death, dealing with loss, dealing with just overcoming so many obstacles at a young age, but at the same time, managing himself through that to get to the point where now he is the city manager of Springfield, Missouri, obviously the Queen City. And, you know, we've been talking about the process. Just going through trauma is one thing, but you also talk about, and I wanted to touch this just a little bit. You shared that you lost your father, but then you talked about you had help. You had people in your life.
Yeah.
You went to counseling.
Yeah.
And when you went to counseling, there was something you said that really hit me hard. You said, walk of strength, not a walk of shame. And that just made me think. So many people go to counseling and feel like counseling is a bad thing.
Yeah.
that we don't really look at it for what it really does for us. Kind of talk about that for you from your standpoint.
Yeah, it was probably what I thought was the darkest day of my life was to
Yeah.
walk into Borough Health, and it was in October. It was just a chilly day, and I was just driving and I'm successful running the city. Things are going great. Amazon's announcing they're building in Republic, and 30 days later, while that's going on, I'm walking into this door saying I don't know what to do, and I just need help. And what felt so shameful, like you're a CEO of a business, man. You can't have a bad day. I mean,
Because this was a part, and not to cut you off here, but this was a time. If anyone that knows, Amazon came into it's located in Republic.
yes,
But it's coming to our area. One of the largest employers right now
Yeah.
in our area, and you had a lot to do with that.
absolutely.
I mean, a lot to do with that. But here it is. You're trying to be strong for the situation, but who was being strong for you?
Yeah, and what you do when you're in trauma or when you're in that place, you can isolate.
Yeah.
And you get yourself really small and really quiet, and you don't let anybody into your bubble. But what the problem is, you have nowhere to go. You have no outlet. So the outlet is either take your own,
Right.
or go seek help. And the best way that it was described to me, it's like, hey, I mean, when the gentleman I met that day, he said, "You're just in a ditch, and I'm the tow truck." And
Wow.
and he's like, "I want to help you get your brain out of the ditch because you're
Wow.
just stuck in the same rut of thinking, and I want to get you."
Yeah.
And it really what it did is it showed me like you're successful, you're a great man, you're a great father, and it reminded me of those affirming words versus the words I was saying to myself that you suck, you're not making it. If people only knew who you really were, you wouldn't even have a job, and you can't be an executive and have problems.
Yeah.
If people knew it, they wouldn't even let you lead, and a lot of just negativity and just self-hate, self-loathing, and he just showed me that you're just human.
Yeah, human. Yeah, because I thought about now that you said it, I was thinking, I said, a time in my life, I had somebody tell me to man up.
Yeah.
You need to just man up and just realize that you're not perfect,
Yeah.
And there's going to be some things that's going to happen in your life that are uncontrollable. Wow. Dave, we deal with a lot of youth here. And if you could say to a youth, I always give this scenario when I'm out in public. If you had the opportunity to tell that young person, and in this case, telling yourself,
Yeah.
now what you know, but having that conversation with the young you,
Yeah.
how would that conversation start?
I'll tell you, it would start with, "I'm sorry that happened to you."
Wow.
I'd say, "I'm sorry what you went through, but it was not your fault. The pain you felt, the rejection no little boy should have felt that. You should have been nurtured, protected, and you were left exposed. I'd say, I'm sorry you had to mow yards to pay the bills. But I'm proud of you. I'd say I'm proud of you for where you're at." And I'd say that little boy is like, one of the best illustrations I did in counseling was I was going through one of the scenarios of my trauma as a childhood, and we were talking. And I was talking to that little boy, and he goes, "What would you say?" He says, "I want you to look at that little boy and tell him who you are now."
Yeah.
And I just broke. It's like, "Hey, buddy, you're in a bad spot tonight. You're in a dark place with your dad drunk, passed out in this car. Coyotes are howling, but you're going to be the city manager someday of the third largest city. You're going to make it." That's what I'd say to that little boy.
Wow.
Like, this is not the end. I know you're scared. You have every right to be scared, but you're going to be a bold leader someday, and you're going to help change the world.
That's it. I'm done. Interview's done. I'm just. When's your next motivational?
I like to
speaking
do them. I do like to do it.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I see all these people on Facebook. They saying, "Hey, I'm doing this, doing that," and you're paying a lot of money to go see them and stuff. I mean, you might want to.
Preach it.
Yeah,
I
you might
love
wanna
I love
preach
to
that.
come
I
watch
literally
you
would come
watch
and
you
hear
talk.
Yeah.
just to hear you tell that story. I mean, here's the thing. You said healing doesn't happen overnight,
It doesn't.
and that counseling has to marinate. I love how you use that. But what does consistency in healing look like, especially for, and I don't want to just say youth, but for people seeking quick fixes or feeling impatient with the process?
Yeah, there is no quick fix, but one thing that I would say is slow down.
Yeah.
And one of the things, my favorite things I like to do, I still do it today. I do it
Yeah.
almost daily. It depends on routine, or if I bust my alarm, I bust the sleep clock,
Yeah.
like I did this morning. But what I'll do is I'll fix a cup of coffee or Diet Dr. Pepper in the morning, and I'll go sit in a chair, and I got a painting on a wall. It's nothing spectacular. But I literally sit in that chair and I sit there silently. And what I do is I let all the stuff, because it still comes to me. It's not like I've overcome the negative thoughts.
Right.
Enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy.
Come on
You
now.
just learn how to manage it and
Yeah. So
move from it.
by sitting there silent, because the Bible says, "Be still and know that I'm God."
Man, you talking, man.
So to be still is actually being obedient. So sometimes we run our mouth so much that we don't even have any time just to listen. So one of the tools that I use is just sit in the chair, put my feet on the ground. I feel my feet in the floor, and I just be present with my body. Just be present in the moment.
Yeah.
Sometimes we think we can pray it away, and there's times I've just said, only thing I can say is, Lord, I need you.
Yeah.
But what's helped me tremendously is whenever I get a little bit sped up, I just sit down in a chair. I'll focus on a poem. I look at the colors. I'll look at anything, just something that'll take my brain away from that negative thought that's saying, you're not doing enough. You need to go faster. The world's falling apart. Your bills are not going to get paid. It's just silly stuff that don't even make sense, but it comes.
Yeah.
And if you don't stop and process it and say, you know what, that's not truth. That's not truth.
Yeah.
But if you don't stop to do it, then you get sped up even faster. And that's whenever I would spiral into alcohol. It's like all the negativity is building up. I'm like, I gotta pull the plug of that thought. I got way too much in there. Then you wake up with the shame of being drunk again. So you got to get centered. That's what I tell young
I
person.
love that.
Slow down.
Yeah. You got to get centered. That's a good point. How has, and I want to pivot just a little bit here. I look at your job. I look at just the person he is. Obviously, I feel like anybody could talk to you. But let's pivot a little bit.
Yeah.
We are now in a country where it seems like everywhere you go, there's some type of unrest. Something is going on.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to put you in the president's shoes.
Sure.
Managing this country, what would you be doing different?
I'd be getting out in front of people and having actually honest conversation and not hiding behind policy. So I understand you have to have policy, but I do the same thing I'm doing when I'm doing with the city of Springfield. You got to get out and listen, even again those that, because what happens that I believe is in the country, we're not even listening to common sense complaints.
Right.
There's legitimate things, and what I say is it gets lost in translation through protest or different things, and people say, well, just because you're protesting, it means something's wrong.
Right.
But what happens in those things, it's viewed as lost in translation. And to me, what I like to do is get out and let people be heard. And even in the anger of the comment, there's probably some level of truth to it that you can address. But just acting like it's all or nothing, to me, I believe the best way to run an organization or run a government is it is the people's government.
Yeah.
And so you're not going to make everybody happy, but you need to be able to be an active listener. Like you was talking about listening to your daughter.
Yeah.
I think what we have got to get back to is statesmanship in this country.
I like that.
And I think that we got to be statesmen when we disagree, but we have to be active listeners versus already having our response to your question before you even finish stating it. When you watch a lot of people and you're having conversation, they're already queued up to answer. Because they're not actively listening, they're actively ready to argue the point because they feel like they have to win the debate. And sometimes you just agree to disagree. My stepdad was a staunch opposite of a political climate of myself, but we had a tremendous relationship because we loved each other.
Right.
And so I think that I think you got to get around it and have conversations both sides of the aisle. But definitely I would have, I talk about 3 words: process, relationship, trust. It's either process related issue, relationship issue, or trust issue. And I think that right now there's so much just unrest of what's going to happen. Don't trust you. I don't trust government. And that trickles down to the local level.
Yeah. And that's one of the things we my fraternity, I'm Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity. And one of the things that we focus on is voting. Our biggest push is about voting. And one of the things that we talk about all the time is the fact that, you can't, like you said earlier, you can't complain unless you're part of the solution. You got to be out there and be part of something before you can actually start saying, hey, this is the problem. This is this is that. And then when the question comes, what are you doing about it? I'm here.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm here. And I'm not back here. I'm here. I wanted to turn this question to you a little bit because before we go tonight, I think there's some people that's going to be listening, and they probably heard your name. They probably voted for you. I mean, not voted for you, but they probably supported you, whatever the case may be. How does and how does someone in this community really get the opportunity to tell you what they're seeing, what they're feeling? Is there an open forum where you create where you're now sitting in front of people and you're like, hey, I do this. I think Chief does this coffee in the mornings or something. Chief, coffee with the chief.
Yeah.
Do you do anything similar to that?
Yeah, I
Or
mean, I've just spent the last middle of December. In fact, right before I came over here, I was at the neighborhood association meeting of all the neighborhoods of the
yeah, I was gonna
city.
say there's a lot of them.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I was actually speaking in front of
yeah.
them, and so since the middle of December, even up until now, I've done like 4 or 5 listening sessions in the
There you
community.
go. There you
So
go.
the thing about it is like I say, is I got to get out of the fourth floor to act. That's when you asked me about what I would do as I was president. It's what I've been doing is I
Right,
go out and
right.
actually actively listen. But what you have to do is
Mhm.
place yourself in a place of exposure for criticism so that you can actually hear.
Thank you, God. Thank you. Thank you.
So what a lot of people like to do is just get in an echo chamber and get around the people that tell them what they want to hear.
Mm.
Yeah,
What I
yeah.
want to find out is what the actual comments are versus what the perceived comments are
I
or
love
the
that.
echo chamber
I
is
love
saying.
that.
And so I love, so coming, one thing about my job, coming from a small town of 700 people that you knew everybody,
Yeah.
you just built relationship and connection and you took care of each other. So
Mm.
I'd rather be face to face than over a keyboard or digital. I'd rather be, I got to look somebody in the eye and say, listen, yeah, I
Mm.
made that mistake or I could have done it better.
Wow.
I won't hide behind a keyboard to do it.
Wow. Dave, who are your angels in your life?
Oh, my brother, my older brother,
Yeah.
he was, you know, my children. I never want to place the burden upon it.
Yeah.
A guy named Tom Rankin, Lisa Addington, just people that I can say, you
Mhm.
know, I got a bunch of them. Um, Matt Russell, Crystal Russell,
Mhm.
Jeff Ussery. I just have people I was like, listen, I'm just having a bad day.
Yeah.
But there's also people I say when they call me, I was like, listen, borrow my angel.
Yeah.
You can borrow
I,
mine today. I
I
got
can
you.
see people calling him just to say, hey, man, I just need to talk. Can you listen?
Yeah.
Perfect person. Wow. You've chosen a life that's been an open book. And at the end of the day, even while leading under pressure, what do you say to those who fear their vulnerability
Hmm.
will be used against them?
Yeah. I will say the most liberating thing for my life is how open and honest I can be because I don't have to go home and close a door and say I'm living a different life.
Wow.
And I want people to know my pain. I want people to know my struggle. But anybody that pushes someone away that has it, shame on you. Because in your moment of need and you're having your rough time and you think you got your world all together, I promise you, someone is going to sit there and say they got their own struggle, but they wouldn't dare be that vulnerable because they're afraid of what it'll cost them.
Hmm.
And my argument is if you don't go vocal with it, it will cost you everything because you're not actually living a
Living it.
life.
Yeah.
You're living what you want everybody to see.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
that's not your most authentic self.
Wow.
And so to me, it's
I
you're
feel like he's talking to me right
Yeah,
now.
no,
are
that
you
look,
really living?
that's why
Are
I'm
Yeah.
you
enjoying
really
this.
living
Yeah.
by not being honest about that piece? And
Wow,
if people
man.
push you away for that, you don't want to work for them anyway. If you can't be who you really are with the
Yeah.
struggle, you know, I just can't do it. I won't do it. And if it costs me everything to be honest and authentic, at least I got my life back.
There you go.
I can rebuild from there. But if I got to keep this image and this optic up, man, I can't let them see my weakness.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I just can't do it.
Hey, no, you
But your question is, what do I say to that person?
yeah, I mean,
Risk it, because what I'll tell you
yeah.
what's going to happen. A person like me is going to be your angel. Is going to come along,
Yeah.
say, "I got your back,"
Yeah.
and listen. I think more people do it is the way we overcome the stigma. I think more people come out and say it.
Mm.
I believe there's more executives and people in those places, and you don't have to be an executive,
Yeah.
but they're like, I can't let anybody know this. Man, that's just pain you're pushing down, and eventually it's going to manifest to an addiction,
Mm.
something that you don't want to
Mm.
happen. Your health go bad, and that's not really living.
Yeah, I was gonna say real quick. And I feel like the reason why I'm like really enjoying this interview is because when we were talking about storytelling
Yeah.
with Kai on the last episode,
Yeah. Kai Sutton.
Yeah, I
yeah,
know
Love
Kai.
it. Yeah.
What's up, Kai?
and just like the power of it, I feel like there's a lot of reward to being open and authentic.
Yeah.
Um, not even just for yourself, so you don't have to feel like you're not being your true self, but even to other people in terms of being able to inspire others and see what they're capable of,
Yeah.
being that they might have gone through something similar. And I was gonna say that when I was growing up, I had to. My parents they divorced, and I was forced to go to counseling.
Right.
And it wasn't until later on, until I was like in college, that I realized that I was still it wasn't effective for me then, but when I made the choice of going to seek counseling, it was different because I made the decision to go get that help. And
Yeah.
the second instance is my freshman year of college, they had a freshman speech contest where they wanted to know about your story leading up to you getting to the college.
Mhm.
And I ended up I told everybody everything. I told them everything about my life in a more structured
Right.
format.
Right.
But I ended up winning the contest out of all the freshmen in the college, and I got a oral communications job just from that to work for the
That's
school.
awesome.
So I just feel
Now
like
that's
there's
a
a lot of
story.
reward
Yeah.
in. And speaking of my grandmother, she has told me many times since coming
Yeah.
out here and like working with the youth in relation to music, for me to express my story and what I've been through more so people can relate and see that, I'm doing all these things, but I'm just like you.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
loved it.
That's awesome. I think that we are just like everybody. I don't want people to get lost in the attire or the title. I'm just like you,
Yeah.
and the
Wow.
struggle is real, and but the hope and opportunity is just as much. And so I love you
Hmm.
sharing that story.
Thank
I learned even more. The more you
you.
talk, I learn more about you. I love it. I love it. Dave, thank you, first of all, just
Yeah,
for being here tonight. I have, there's some bit different perspectives that I have now just listening to how you put it
yeah.
and everything. But there's a person obviously listening right now, struggling silently
Hmm.
with trauma, loss, obviously mental health challenges. What do you want them to hear from you? If you had just a few minutes to just break it down, what would that conversation, or how would I say, what could you say to them?
I would say this. I'm gonna look in the screen to the person that I know is watching,
Yeah.
that is hurting. You matter. You matter. Don't ever lose sight of that. You are made for a purpose, a God-given talent. Bible says you're fearfully and wonderfully made,
That's right.
and you matter. You're not a mistake. You're not broken. There is hope. And reach out to a friend, reach out to someone, and just be honest, because the moment you dump that out, you will find relief. And they will be there to catch you. They will not be there to criticize you.
Wow.
And if you can't find that person, you call me. That's what I tell them.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Hey, guys, with that being said, listen, you know, I've had a good time tonight. I
Same.
know we're going to have to bring you back.
Yeah.
Eventually. We're going to have to bring you back.
Definitely.
Just because here's the thing, I think sometimes, and just being honest, we put so many titles.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a title. Obviously, you're the city manager, but we look at the title before we look at the name,
Yeah.
and then before we look at the name, we really, or I should say this, we really don't look at the person
Hmm.
because we don't take time to listen to that person. And I love what he said about getting into the community, the neighborhood associations, and listening to criticism.
Mm.
Because at that time, there's no title. People are just coming at you. They're asking the question. They're telling you, "Hey, this is what I see. This is what I feel. We need more of this."
Yeah.
And I have to be honest with you. I'm gonna look on my neighborhood's association's meeting calendar, and I'm looking. I'm hope to see you there.
Yes.
With that being said, I'm gonna pay a little bit more attention because there are some city officials who have been coming to those meetings, and for those who say they don't have that direct touch with their city officials, I, I think they got to do a little bit more research because even there's been some times where I've Googled and I was like, wait a minute, I didn't know that they was here. or they did this.
Mm.
And it's because we didn't take the extra time to find out.
Mm.
You know, we have everything in front of us.
At our
You
fingertips.
at our fingertips. And you have done such a great job. I just want to commend Dave real quick, because the more research that I did in this short amount of time, the people, and I text some people, I was like, what do you think about David? And they said, amazing job, integrity. I love that word, integrity.
Yeah.
It's like you keeping your word, but you listen.
Yeah.
And here's the key thing too, because I learned this, and I want you tell me this. You have 2 assistants that work with you as well. So he has deputy city managers. Can you talk about them real quick? Just real quick, because I think people get it mixed up. They see one, they see this person, they say, well, he's a city manager, but no, you're the city manager, but they're your deputies. Kind of explain that a little bit.
Yeah, so I've got Maurice Jones. He is my deputy, and then I got Colin Quigley. He's been here he's been here for I think 20. He started as, I think it was a graduate assistant. But yeah, so I call Maurice. I call him MJ. So MJ is over all things development. So anything associated with building in this community or development, code enforcement, anything like that. So basically, they oversee those elements of the day-to-day function. Then Colin, he has PD, police, fire department, public health, airport. So it's divided somewhat equally across finance and those things. My job is more about the overall vision and direction of the city, and making sure that we have a plan, we have a vision, we have passion, we have energy. And we lead with conviction. Where they're running the day-to-day function, I'm more public facing to get out and actually, okay, here's what I'm hearing, here's the intel I'm getting that we're missing, and connecting those two to my deputies. Then I have some direct reports. I have 22 departments of the city, so obviously span of control, I can't run them all. But I have the city attorney's office. It's like a small law firm. And then I have PIO and HR under
Explain the PIO real quick. So
public engagement. Public engagement, public information officer. Cora Scott, she does a great job of connecting us to the community. We're going to continue. We're going to ramp that up even more, become more of a storytelling organization, just about what we're doing.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I have 2,200 employees, 22 departments. And it's a very diverse. We're one of the most diverse organizations in the state. We have a zoo. We have all those things that is under my purview, which makes us very, very unique. And so
we are the Queen City, y'all. We do what we do. But go ahead.
Yeah. So I mean, it's having my deputies. They're incredible. But I always tell them, I was like, I want you to operate in your capacity as though you're me.
Yeah.
And so I've decentralized the office of city manager. It's so centralized, like everything has to go to me. I decentralized it. And Maurice came out of Chicago, and so he had some much larger experience and exposure, and I've leaned heavily upon his work. And he really,
because he's the newest of your
deputy,
right? Yeah. I've looked at his background too.
And I want to say this, to both of them. I appreciate the work that Colin's doing, all my team's doing. But when I got to town, it was kind of like, hey, what's Maurice do? Like, what's he really get into? And I will tell you something that he is absolutely been a rock star. He has absolutely done a lot of great work. And I've said this publicly. I did it in the Business Journal, and I'll say it everywhere. It's like, I can tell you exactly what he's doing. He's taking the vision and he's running. And he grabs things for me, takes them for me, and really is a great teammate. Even and sometimes I'd actually say Maurice is my angel. Whenever I've had bad days, he's like, hey, are you good?
Yeah.
And he ain't asking me, are you good in your job? He's like, are you good? You need to just chat with me. And that means a lot.
That says a lot. I mean, you can work together with people. I can get that. Matter of fact, I'm going to put this challenge out there. You put this in his ear. We might have to have Maurice on the show.
Yeah, you want MJ on the show.
Yeah, definitely get him on.
Yeah, you need him on here.
You definitely need him?
Yeah,
okay. All right, I like that.
He's a Louisville Cardinal fan, so I won't hold that against him.
Hey, what's wrong with okay.
He's a Steelers fan, too. So
well, he's not feeling too good right now.
Yeah, I asked him. He didn't like the fact that Tomlin left.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I just saw that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. You know why? Just because I think something greater is going to come out of that. I think he's going to be in the office.
He should.
He needs to be.
He's a genius.
Oh, yeah. A GM, something to that level.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I wouldn't see why not.
Yeah, vice president of player relations. Who knows? At the
Mm.
end of the day, well, listen, we could talk football all day. That's my thing. You a Chief fan?
I'm a Chiefs fan.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm a Razorbacks fan too.
Oh, you a Suey?
Suey.
Oh
Whoop it.
yeah. Hey, all right. I got a good friend of mine played there. Gary Peanut Adams. He is in the Missouri Hall of Fame.
Really?
Yeah.
I remember watching Peanut Adams.
Peanut came from here. Came from Central High School grad.
Wow.
Everything. Yeah. He. I used to go watch him down there at Arkansas when he was playing QB. Moved to free safety, and
Yeah,
of course he went through the lineage. Obviously as a state trooper for many years, and went on to be a Secret Service.
Really?
Oh
Yeah,
wow,
yeah.
that's dope.
He retired. He actually retired. He's down in Texas, and to my knowledge, he still does some other things. But yeah, this did his thing. So proud of
Little
him.
fun fact. I once glanced at getting into the Secret Service.
You really did?
just looking into
But
it.
it was
Just-
secret, right?
Yeah,
You was
yeah.
secret trying to get
I
into the
was
secret
secretly
trying to get into the
yup.
Secret Service.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Secretly trying to get in Secret Service. Wow, that's funny because here's my situation. I actually did the interview for U.S. Marshals.
Oh, for real?
And they have this part where you do this psych exam,
Mm-hmm.
and they did the psych exam. I'm thinking, okay, I did a good job, whatever. There was a freeze on hiring for a year and a half.
Oh wow.
I'm sitting there thinking I did something wrong or I said something wrong. At the end of the day, it didn't happen for me. But yeah, it kind of put me in a rock and a hard place. But I ended up going in pro after that. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, I don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I told Kai that they had me right out of college. I was running across Kansas, different places, reservations.
Yeah.
Now you talk about people drinking.
Yeah.
No stereotype there, y'all. I'm sorry, but man, you can find them on reservations. At the end of the day, guys, this is the Lock and Loaded Show. It's open court. Guys, we've had Dave Cameron, City Manager of Springfield, in. Thank you once again for being with us, man. And before we go, how can people get in touch with you if they wanted to just say, hey?
Rap with me.
Yeah.
So best way to get a hold of me is my email is a public record, but I'll put it out there.
Yeah.
It's david.cameron@springfieldmo.gov. Shoot me a message. I do reply to my messages.
I love it.
I don't care, even if it's good, bad, or indifferent. If you have something you want to chat about, or you need help, or you want to just rap about mental health and your struggle, or you need someone to talk to, just david.cameron@springfieldmo.gov, or you can find me on LinkedIn. I do not have any other social media platforms because that's just not good for my health.
Listen, I'm in Facebook jail, so it is what it is.
Yeah.
No, real talk. I really am. I'm in Facebook jail. I haven't been on Facebook in 3 months.
Yeah.
And before that, I was on for like 3 months, and then I was off for 6 months. I don't know what I'm saying. They just keep saying I'm going against some type of community policy or whatever.
It gets tricky sometimes.
Yeah, I know. It is what it is. Hey, y'all, this is a Lock and Loaded Show. Dave Cameron, of course, co-host
Jayce
Jayce Janae. Hey, we coming back again. Be looking out. Next show. I can go ahead and toss this out to you. We got Matt Rush of the Ozark Lunkers.
Nice.
Wide receiver. He's Springfield, came right out of Hillcrest High School. So that show coming up here in about another 2 weeks. With that being said, look forward to us doing what we do. This is the Lock and Loaded Show. I am your host. As always, Brother Mays, Jayce Janae. We out.
Peace.
Wow.